Thank you for joining us for the Board of Commissioners meeting. It's 10 a.m. on July 8th, and we're happy to proceed with our agenda for the day. So I'd like to call this meeting to order, and we will start our day with an invocation and pledge of allegiance from Pastor Corey Hambrick. Good morning.
Good morning. Chair Vaness, Commissioner Williams, Commissioner Smith, officials, leaders, citizens, let's pause now for a moment of reflection and prayer. Gracious and sovereign God, we thank you for the privilege and the responsibility of leadership. As we gather here today in service to our community, we ask for your wisdom to guide our discussions, your clarity to shape our decisions, and your compassion to lead our hearts. Bless every leader, official, and citizen represented in this space, and may our actions today promote justice, equity, and peace for all. Help us to listen deeply, speak truthfully, and act justly. May we be mindful of those most in need and strive always for the common good of all. Grant us unity amid diversity and progress with integrity. And may our work today honor both you and the people we are called to serve. Lastly, God, we also pray and we remember those lives and families who were impacted by the catastrophic floods in Kerr County. Continue to be their God, lead and guide is our prayer. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Amen. And we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Okay, this morning we're excited to have a presentation regarding our Rockdale County Housing Assessment Project, and Kristen Allen, with the ARC, who's the ARC Principal Planner, is here today to talk about that project. And Kristen, I wanted to say it was good to see you the other day at the summit. Tell me your connection again to Rockdale County.
So I am a proud alumni of Rockdale High School from 1992. I grew up here my entire life, except for a few years. I was born in Decatur, and then we moved here when I was in first grade. So I went through Flat Shoals Elementary School, Conyers Middle School, and Rockdale High School. So I enjoyed very formative years here.
Well, when you shared that, I was really excited that as we do this housing assessment that you're familiar with the lay of the land, and so we're really happy to have you here today.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this project, so thank you. And thank you for having me today, Board of Commissioners. Kristen Allen, I'm a principal planner with the Atlanta Regional Commission, and I'll go through briefly what the Atlanta Regional Commission is, what we do, how this project came about, and then we'll go through what to expect with this housing assessment staff assistance project.
Very good.
So you can go to the next slide. So the Atlanta Regional Commission's goal is one great region, and housing fits under our healthy, safe, and livable communities goal. Next slide, please. The Atlanta Regional Commission is one of 12 regional commissions throughout Georgia. There is a regional commission covering every city and county in Georgia, and the purpose of the regional commissions, they were established by the Georgia Planning Act, and we assist local governments in planning. You can see the range of what regional commissions do, from aging to infrastructure to community development. We even do homeland security, transportation planning. So all of these things intersect, and we're looking at these regionally as opposed to individually by jurisdiction and how these different things affect the region. And housing is under the Community Development Department. Next slide, please. One of the projects that we have in our Community Development Department is called the CDAP project, the Community Development Assistance Program. This is something that our local jurisdictions can apply to annually. It's an annual program. And this is a planning assistance project. So communities can come to the ARC, the Atlanta Regional Commission, for assistance in any of these priority issue areas, which can include healthy food, placemaking, climate change, historic preservation, housing affordability, and smart technology. So Rockdale County applied for this Community Development Assistance Program assistance project for housing affordability, and we are just kicking off this project. Next slide, please. This is a scan of where the ARC has either assisted or where cities or counties have commissioned their own housing-specific plans across the region. As I said, we like to look regionally at this and see kind of where plans have been implemented. So you can see in the hash marks the counties that have implemented housing plans over the last 5 to 7 years. And then in blue, you can see the cities that have commissioned their own housing plans. So in 2025 to 2026, we have several other counties, including Rockdale County, that will be commissioning their own housing assessments. So we have DeKalb County, Clayton County, Rockdale County, and the city of Clarkston that are all embarking on their own plans this year. Next slide, please. So I just wanted to go through a little bit about why the ARC looks at housing regionally and why it's important to us and what trends we're seeing. Some of the ones listed on the right, I think that a lot of us have experienced the rise in home prices personally. We understand that home prices are rising and also rising faster than wages. Our building in this area fell off a cliff after the 2008 recession and has not come back to current levels. Although we have seen some increase in housing production, we still are behind in our housing growth. The chart on the right shows how many affordable units we've lost across the region from 2018 to 2023. So you can see this is very troubling that we've lost the apartment units, the rentals that are $800 or less per month. We've lost 54,000 of those in the last 5 years. And then the ones that are between $800 and $1,500 a month, we've lost over 170,000 of those. And that can be for different reasons. Sometimes there are, insurance increases or property tax increases that cause this loss of affordable units. They could be torn down and replaced. There are numerous reasons, but we know that we are losing ground on making sure we have accessible housing for people across the region. And we also see a rising cost burden, meaning that people are spending more of their wages on housing. Next slide, please. In addition to these challenges that we see, we understand that our region is continuing to grow. So the ARC, we are in charge of forecasting for the region, and we project that our region will reach 7.9 million by 2050, which is a growth of approximately 1.8 million people. So that's about the size of everyone living in Metro Nashville coming into the Atlanta metro region. Next slide. This is a map that ARC does to project where growth will happen. So you see the areas of highest projected growth between now and 2050 in the red. So we do see people moving outwards, kind of chasing that affordability in a lot of ways. So you see a lot of the red around the outer rim of the region. You can see that Rockdale County is also expected to have some pretty significant growth based on the colors there. Next slide, please. We also look at population change per square mile, or where we might see areas densifying, so adding housing kind of at a higher density rate, or having more people concentrated in specific areas. So you can see in the red and orange areas of potential higher concentrations of people, and you can see kind of in this 138 Conyers area, some projected densification as well. Next slide. We also look at employment projections. So where do we see jobs growing? So you do see some projected job growth in kind of the north part of Rockdale, and then also in the red all around the north end of the area, the metro area. So if you think back to the slide 2 slides ago where you see projected population growth, which was around the outer rims, and the employment growth, which is in the center, we understand that that is a traffic nightmare, just increasing. So we really want to look at housing in that aspect too, of how we're linking jobs and housing. Next slide, please. This is a slide that should be rotating, but it might be in PDF form, but that can be something that can be shared later. But it shows the increase in the in housing over time. And since it's not rotating right now, when you get to 2023, you see that the whole region pretty much starts to turn purple. So right now, in 2018 time shop, we see 100 to 200,000 being the predominant price in a lot of the outer areas. But as we get forward to 2023 and 2024, the entire region turns purple, where the median housing is up to 500, 750, even up to $1 million in certain areas. So that's another area of concern. Next slide, please. So now we'll go through specific to Rockdale County, the housing assessment scope. Next slide. So these were some points that I pulled out of the application for Rockdale County. So some of the high-level points from this slide are that what Rockdale intended in the application for this project, and the path that we are taking as we kick off this project, is we want to analyze the state of housing in Rockdale County. especially relevant to population and job growth that were mentioned in previous slides. We want to identify issues with housing and opportunities relating to both attainable housing, making sure that we're defining goals around housing, and helping the city leader or county leaders understand how to achieve the goals that come out of this report. A lot of this will include data analysis and understanding the housing inventory that we have, what housing is needed for different price points and age groups, and does that housing exist? The data portion of this will also be accompanied by stakeholder engagement. So we will have a stakeholder committee, and we will do other kind of outreach in the form of interviews for engagement to make sure that we understand the landscape from different points of view. Next slide, please. Some of the goals and objectives for this, the final deliverable will be, the key to that will be helping with decision making. So as I mentioned, we want to ensure that the leaders in Rockdale County are informed and can make decisions around housing based on this report and looping it into other plans that they have as well. So things like the existing housing stock, the types of housing stock that exist, the costs, where they could increase different types of housing, understanding the growth patterns, where they're happening, where they might be better suited, also future needs and what housing metrics might be applied. We also want to understand what potential housing strategies could be put in place, and most importantly, this report should be put into future planning efforts, such as the comprehensive plan, strategic planning, to make sure that things that come out of this report are further embedded into more permanent planning efforts. There is a date set, I believe, for the Commission to review and approve the MOA, Memorandum of Agreement, for this project, and the fee is $10,000 for this ARC assistance project. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So the process and what to expect, we have already started the data analysis. We will form a survey that will be sent to the broad community and posted on the Rockdale County website. We'll be forming a stakeholder committee that will help vet the data that the ARC presents and ensure that we reach community members, and that the data that we have, we really want to make sure that we understand that from the community perspective. So we'll be kind of vetting that data back and forth with the stakeholder committee and understanding what they want us to dive deeper into. The report will be reviewed, the final draft will be created toward the end of this year and then reviewed by the Rockdale County Commission and the stakeholders. And then the goal is to have the Rockdale County Commission adopt this plan. Next slide. We have formed a project management team. You can see everyone listed at the top, so it's predominantly Rockdale County staff members, and then we also have Destiny Martin, who's the Director of Family Promise New Rock. So we are starting our bi-weekly project management team meetings after the project kickoff. So we have our first meeting scheduled on July 30th, and we'll be meeting bi-weekly throughout the project after that. Next slide. Our stakeholder committee, we are in the process of forming that stakeholder committee right now. There will be an application process for this, which is actively underway right now. The stakeholder committee will meet 3 to 4 times. Typically, these are evening meetings between August and November. And like I said, the purpose of the stakeholder committee is to really give us input and to vet the data that we come up with and help with the direction of the plan. Next slide, please. And so lastly, we'll go through the timeline. Next slide. So this is the timeline for the project. So we kicked off, as I said, we kicked off our project management team meetings. We have our bi-weekly meetings occurring starting July 30th. Our data analysis portion is underway. We anticipate a draft between December and February, and we will have a work session and council presentation between February and April. And the stakeholder committee meetings will occur between August and most likely November. So that's all that I have. Next slide, please. So this is my contact information if anyone has questions. I'll entertain any questions from the Board of Commissioners at this time, but really excited to work on this project, and thank you for having me today.
Can you read your contact information? It's
Yes.
a little hard to read.
Yes, so Kristen Allen, my last name is Allin, which is a little bit different, principal planner, and my email is kallen, again it's KALLIN, at atlantaregional.org.
Okay. Thank you very much for your
Thank
time
you.
today.
Thank you.
Any questions? Okay. Very good. At this point, we'll start with public comment. If we have cards from the audience, if anyone would
Anybody
like
have
to
a card?
speak. Okay.
No.
Then we will proceed with the approval of the agenda today. Do you have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move
Oh.
to approve the agenda as published.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. All right, we have approval of the minutes from June 24th, 2025.
I move to approve the minutes as presented.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
right, the motion carries. Thank you. And then we'll move to unfinished business.
So item 310 under unfinished business is policies for fees for policy 2021-2-8 as amended. This is for the Parks and Recreation Facilities fee schedule. And Deputy Director Wilson is here this morning. I believe we have some amendments for this particular policy.
And I do want to remind the audience that months ago we combined our work session and our voting session, so we do have more open dialogue than most meetings.
All right. Good
Hi.
morning.
Good
How's
morning.
everybody doing? Good. So we actually went back to the drawing board and took in consideration some recommendations from the board as far as pricing, as well as some assessments internally about amenities and upgrades that we've done with the facility, as well as looking at our internal and external rentals that we had for the past 2 to 3 years. So with those considerations, we did decrease some of those price points around the outdoor rentals, so our pavilion spaces, as well as Black Shoals, and I believe some small fee at Costly Mill. But we did take those things into consideration. I just hope that that was enough. But I know we also are waiting for some feedback from the citizens that went out to the public, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I want to thank my team. We really did a deep dive to make sure that we kept things cost affordable, but also are able to generate some form of revenue from the external stakeholders who do come into the county to use our facilities now. So.
I'd like for us to consider maybe deferring this for one more, to the next voting session, just to give the public more time to give feedback. I have actually not heard from anybody regarding the fee increases, so that would give them 2 more weeks to give feedback to the Board of Commissioners.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, thank you. I just want to publicly thank my team for doing all the great work they did to assess.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
All right.
So I will move to defer this policy as has been presented.
Madam Chair, I second that motion.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Item number 8, new business.
Okay, item 312 is with MMC concessions through the Parks and Recreation Department for concession services at athletic events, tournaments, and cultural events, programs at various locations, including Johnson Park, Earl O'Neill, and American Legion Field. It's $25,500 with a 75-25 split. It's for 1-year term with option to renew up to 3-year terms. This is through the general fund and is a budgeted item. Madam Chair and Commissioners, would you like me to keep going?
No, just explain the split
Okay,
for me if you would.
so we have, okay. Deputy Director Wilson again.
All right, so the split is 75-25 based off the revenue generated for that day. So the concession vendor would give us 25% of the proceeds from that, those fees that came in.
Let me ask you a question. How are the fees received?
So they are paid directly to the vendor at the concessions. They use their automated system. So we do get a calculation. So usually cash, or they also do transactions through debit or credit card. And they use an internal transaction system. They have printouts for us that'll show the 75-25% split based off the revenue generated for that total day.
Okay,
Mhm.
very good. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Would you like to vote on this item or keep going?
We can vote on it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
All right, next item is item 313 with Derwin Daniels to the Parks and Recreation Department for the summer concert series at the lawn at Wheeler Park. The amount is $3,000. The day is August 31st, 2025. This is through the general fund and is a budgeted item.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
Madam Chair, I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
Item 314 is with Nectar Studios through the Parks and Recreation Department. This is permission to use Black Shoals Park Walk of Heroes for filming Pure Talk Veterans First Responders docu-video. It's revenue to the county in the amount of $1,000. The date is June 6, 2025, and this is submitted for ratification.
Madam Chair, I move to ratify this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions?
And this is just for 1 hour. It was just for 1 hour, right? So we got $1,000 for an hour?
Let me look.
That's good.
Yeah, so they were out there for an hour or two, but it is based off of how much property they use, how many people are out there, how much equipment it comes out there, so.
I'm not
Yeah.
complaining.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I know, it's revenue.
That's not bad. That's not bad for an hour's work.
Right.
Yeah. If you can get it, so.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
Okay, item 315 is with the Atlanta Regional Commission through the Parks and Recreation Senior Services Division for multiple service aging grant, home and community-based services. The amount is $593,206.37 with a $40,422.38 match funds for a total of $633,628.75. The term is July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026.
So I move to approve this grant as presented.
Madam Chair, I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second, and I did want to take this opportunity to invite Susan Morgan, who runs our senior services program, to just talk about the importance of this program in our community. I know it's certainly a hallmark of the senior services division.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. This is the grant that does the main services that we are able to provide. And so this is for our seniors that are 60 and up. So it has home-delivered meals, congregate meals, respite care, personal care, transportation, which has 5 different areas, and senior recreation as part of those programs. So it is a major part of our program. Oh, and I forgot one, Homemaker. Homemaker is a great program because it allows the seniors to be able to stay in their homes in our community with some assistance from us. So that helps cost-wise, and it helps the seniors that they get to stay where they want to stay. So.
And can you tell us the contact information if someone would like to find out more about the program?
Sure. If you are interested in signing up for or getting assessed for a program that is an in-home, the first step is to call the Atlanta Regional Commission, and they do an assessment over the phone. That number is 404-463-3333. I'm glad it's easy to remember, right?
That's right.
And that number, what that does is the person has an assessment, and then that information is referred to us for services.
Okay.
If they're interested in coming to the senior center or being part of one of our transportation programs, they could come directly to the center, which is at 1240 Dogwood Drive, just in the JP Car Complex, where we have the health department, veterans assistance, DFACS, all of that is there together. And then let that person know what they might be interested in, because we have 200 activities that we offer every month at the senior center, as well as 20 different programs that are provided for our community.
Great. Thank you so much for the information. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
Item 316 is with Open Hand Atlanta with the Parks and Recreation Senior Services Division for home delivered meals. This is change order number 1 to contract 2021-99. It's a price increase from $4.51 to $4.65 per meal in an amount not to exceed $91,605. The cost is reimbursed through the Senior Center Multi-Service Grant, and it's through December 31st, 2025. This is to the general fund and is a budgeted item.
Madam Chair, I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
Item
And
3.
if I could stop you just for a moment
Yes.
and take time to introduce our new Parks and Recreation Director.
Yes.
So, if we would like to have Ms. Toni Holmes, our Director of HR, come and introduce her, that would be great.
Yes. Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Just want to share a little bit of information about Ms. Carney. Ms. Carney comes to Rockdale County with over 20 years of experience in Parks and Recreation. She has served in many leadership roles in several different programs, including the City of Atlanta, the City of Miami Gardens, the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida. Most recently, in the City of North Miami, she started as the Assistant Director of Parks and Recreation, then was promoted. She served as the Interim Director, and then most recently as the Director of Parks and Recreation. Ms. Carney is a Certified Park and Recreation Professional, or CPRP. This certification is offered by the National Recreation and Park Association. She holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Recreation from Georgia Southern University. I do want to point out that she participated in our new employee orientation yesterday, and it was her birthday. Wow. So she's here today, and I do want to bring her up here, so happy birthday.
She's right.
She's right here.
This way.
Director Carney, if you can come on up, and she's going to make some brief comments. So happy birthday, and welcome to Atlanta. So we're excited to have you here. You can come on up, make some comments. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair, Commissioners.
Yes, thank you.
Parks and Rec is a passion of mine, so it's as opposed to being, yes, I've worked for 20 years, but it's something that I've truly enjoyed and something that I plan to do for the rest of my life. So I thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to be here with Rockdale County and the Parks and Recreation Department and serving the community. So
Very good. We're very happy to have you here.
thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Item 317 is with Celebrite Incorporated through the Sheriff's Office. This is for the program used by the Criminal Investigation Division that unlocks cellular devices used for investigative purposes. The amount is $35,020. It's through June 14th, 2026. This is through the general fund and is a budgeted item.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
Madam Chair, I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing no further, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
Item 318 is with Axom Water Care Incorporated through the Water Resources Department to replace and maintain 2 failing solar bee mixtures on on-site pond at the water treatment plant. The amount is $17,974.39. It's a net 30 days. This is through the Water Enterprise Fund and is a budgeted item.
Madam Chair, I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
Item 319 is with Walton County Fire Services to repeal our current contract 2018-71 that was approved on May 22nd, 2018 through the Fire Rescue for Mutual Aid Agreement and replace it with the Walton County, Georgia Fire Rescue contract through the Fire Rescue Department for Mutual Aid and Automatic Aid Agreement for emergency assistance. This is at no cost and is for 10 years with automatic annual renewals not to exceed 50 years.
I move to repeal contract 2018-71 and to approve the agreement as presented.
Madam Chair, I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
Item 320 is with Henry County Fire Services to repeal the current contract 2013-168. This contract was approved on October 22nd, 2013 with Fire Rescue Agreement of Mutual Aid and Automatic Aid and replace it with Henry County, Georgia Fire Rescue Mutual Aid and Automatic Aid Agreement for emergency assistance. This is at no cost and is for 10 years with automatic annual renewals not to exceed 50 years.
Madam Chair, I move to repeal contract 2013-168 and to approve the agreement as presented.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
Item 321 is with Vertical Earth Incorporated through the Transportation Department to complete 8.6 miles of roadway resurfacing, milling, patching, asphalt, paving, and striping on numerous roadways in the county. The amount is $2,583,172.06. It's 305 days from the notice to proceed. There is a 70% grant and a 30% local match. This is SPLOST funded and is a budgeted item.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
Madam Chair, I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. If we could have Director Kelly address the plan for those 8.6 miles and where they might be in the county, or if there's a list that citizens could see that we can post.
The list is actually attached to the agenda item online. It's the last page.
Okay.
Good morning, Madam Chair,
Hi.
and good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
So, of course, yes, the list is attached. We definitely have this and several other projects coming up that are similar. So, these will be resurfaced, and then we do have some that are coming that will be updated as well. These will focus on subdivision roads mainly.
If you don't mind, for the sake of people who don't have internet access, can you just say those roads, or would you like me to read them out? The roads that we're planning to resurface, please. Thank you.
Let's see if I can get that here.
I have it here if you want.
So the ITV for this one would be Magnet Road, Hammond Road, Plantation Boulevard, Samson Road, Ebenezer Road, Castle Point Court, Kenmore Industrial Parkway, Jesse Court, Weeping Way, Willow Bend Drive, Garland Way, Bridle Creek Drive, Kinslow Ridge, Downing Park, Kings Row, Grandiose Court, Ellington Road, and McCalla Road.
And also, can you explain how you came up with this list? Is there a scale that you go to determine? so
That is
people-
correct. So what we typically do, we do a pavement condition index where we go through and we look at the analysis of all the roads in the county. And we do that every 3 to 4 years to get a running total of what has been done from like SPLOST 4, SPLOST 3, and what's going to be done in 5 and forward. As you know, we just released SPLOST 5A, which is almost done now. They just finished Bethel, which one that was dear and dear to everyone's heart. Those are the ones that are need of sub-base full replacement because there's so many potholes or soil failures. And we go in there and we replace that with a soil cement mix. These other ones that are subdivisions don't have those many issues. And so when we go through our rating systems, there's a scale from 0 to 100. We rate the level and rate the quality of the asphalt and the base below, and we give it a score. And based off that score, we generate these lists of which ones are critical or failures. So essentially a 40 or 50 and below is a failure. And we'll see anything that's a 50 to 60, there may be some salvage. We can do some treatments to salvage that. And we go through that analysis and we triage the roads accordingly and see, we try to, sometimes we juggle which ones have more capacity on them. If they're high capacity roads, they make it bumped up because they see more cars versus ones that have few cars. So it just kind of varies from there.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, so I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
Item 322 is with Hatley Plans LLC through the Planning and Development Department. This is for the 2025 Annual Capital Improvement Element CIE Update Report. The amount is $71,950. This is for 1 year and is through the Impact Fee Fund and is a budgeted item.
Madam Chair, I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Item 323 is a requisition through the General Services Fleet Division for Hardy Chevrolet for one 2025 Chevy Silverado 2500 for the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office. The amount is $59,969. $38,422 is through the CIP fund. $21,547 is through our insurance fund, and this is a budgeted item.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
Madam Chair, I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
Item 324 is with Service Express through the Technology Services Department for maintenance and support for the county's switches. The amount is $13,944. The time frame is July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. This is through the general fund and is a budgeted item.
Madam Chair, I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Item 325 is with the City of Conyers to the General Services Department for the City County Wheeler Park Splash Pad Joint Agreement. The amount is $50,000 revenue from the City of Conyers. The county will maintain the overall responsibility for construction and maintenance. This is through May 31st, 2026, or upon completion of the splash pad.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
Madam Chair, I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Item 326 is a requisition through the General Services Department for DAF concrete. This is for the concrete driveway and sidewalks for Fire Station Number 5. The amount is $84,315. This is SPLOST funded and a budgeted item.
You said 84,000? Oh, our picture just says 80. Okay, this one says 80. On their requisition, the quote says 80. I was just wondering
Oh,
about
did
that.
I read that wrong?
It's
No.
$4,015, and that's a 5% contingency that's added to the project.
Okay.
So they don't have to come back before you. If it's not spent, it's just returned to the fund.
Okay.
All
Good
right.
question.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Madam Chair, I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. I did want to see if Chief Robinson could just give us a quick status on Station 5 before we vote.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
So, Fire Station 5 is underway, of course. It's been completely bricked, and it actually has sheetrock up inside. They did that this past week. We do anticipate that, and Fire Station 5 is on West High Tower Trail, the one that's being rebuilt on the north end. And we do anticipate it being completed, I believe, August, first couple weeks of August. We should see that station open back up and running calls out of it again. So, which is still being covered by the new Station 10, but they'll split that territory, and then we'll have such a vast territory to operate out of.
I think we also have an opportunity for new recruits. Can you talk about your recruit school?
Yes, ma'am.
Incoming.
So we currently have 18 vacancies, and we are going to open up a recruit school where we'll actually train people from that have never been certified as a firefighter EMT, and they will be able to go through our recruit academy. When they are finished, they'll be EMT basic and firefighter 1 and firefighter 2. So that recruit school takes approximately, I think we got it at 24 weeks now. So it does take a little bit of time, but when they come out, they are fully certified and everything that we need them to be. So we do encourage anyone. We hope to have that application process open in the next couple of weeks, and we'll have it open for a couple of months or a month or so. So anyone who is interested in being a firefighter EMT, we highly encourage them to apply. There's a pretty rigorous process in getting selected, some testing and physical testing and other things. But once we start that school, we'll bring people in, and we've had a lot of applications for the certified firefighter position that we have out that for people that aren't certified. So we know the interest is there, but it's just not in the right spot because we can't hold recruit schools consistently. We have to go back and train people that are already in our ranks now. So we hold them as we need to. Usually one, maybe two a year, but mostly one a year. So this is the time if you want to be a firefighter and you're 18 years of age and can go through the recruit school and the rigorous task with it, then we're happy to have anyone around. So.
In addition, we've also posted a position for lateral transfers to our fire department. So if somebody's working at another fire department, they also would be able to apply online and go through the interview process as well.
That's correct.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Very good.
All right. With that, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Item 327 is a requisition through the Water Resources Department for Ferguson FEI Georgia Water Works for miscellaneous pipe fittings for the warehouse stock shelf replenishment, ensuring uninterrupted daily flow of water to customers. The amount is $19,636.86. This is through the Water Enterprise Fund and is a budgeted item.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
Madam Chair, I second the motion.
All right. I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Item 328 is a requisition through the Water Resources Department and Estes Backflow Testing LLC through the Water Treatment Plant Backflow Repair and Backflow Testing to repair failed backflow devices. The amount is $18,580. This is through the Water Enterprise Fund and is a budgeted item.
Madam Chair, I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
Item 329 is a requisition through the Stormwater Department for Vortex Services for Haverhill Storm Rehab Pipe Replacement Project. The amount is $33,249.50. This is through the Stormwater Fund and is a budgeted item.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
Madam Chair, I second the motion.
All in favor, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Item 330 is a list of surplus equipment through the Technology Services Department and the Sheriff's Office. And we also wanted to remind anyone interested in surplus equipment, and the website that we place these items on is www.govdeals.com.
Very good. Thank you.
Awesome. Madam Chair, I move to declare these items as surplus as presented.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Item 331 is rezoning case 2024-28, an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County, Georgia as amended by rezoning 10 acres of 1929 Oglesby Ridge Road from AR agricultural residential to C1 local commercial, to impose conditions upon the property, to repeal conflicting ordinances, and for other purposes. This is before you for a second reading this morning.
Thank you. And I did want to take a moment to invite Steve Goodsell, the developer for that project, to the podium just to talk about what he has done to work with the community, because I know we've had an outcry about this portion of the, about this request in particular.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Commissioners. Yes, this has been a long and winding road to get where we are today, and I think I can safely say that nobody's 100% happy with this, so maybe we've done something right. There was a load of compromise and to get to this point on both sides, and I appreciate the county working very hard, this planning staff, and trying to understand what particular parts of different proposals were really bothering them, so we could address that and see if we could soften some of those edges. And I think we did our part. The county is still sticking by the small box retail prohibition, which we don't agree with, but we'll just we can live with that if the county can live with the rest. So we appreciate working with the staff, and if there are any questions.
Let me say, you just mentioned the small box, which is part of the moratorium. I don't think that's what citizens were concerned about. I think they were concerned about the gas station, which wasn't mentioned.
Right, and we in our discussions, we are going to continue the gas station with conditions, and we strongly believe that, given the fact that all the corners of the intersection are land use map for commercial, that there's existing gas station facilities there, we feel like we should be treated equally and be allowed to do that kind of facility there. We very much think we can upgrade the feel of the intersection with a new, modern, safe, well-maintained facility, and that's our plan. I think what we do there will be a improvement to the intersection and improvement to the neighborhood, though a lot of folks would rather see nothing new go anywhere. I think when we're in there with a nice facility, they'll find themselves using it and being glad it's there.
So I have a question. I was down there again last night, and going down Highway 212, and you get to Oglesby Bridge. So it's that northwest corner. Do I have that right?
Which direction are you coming from?
Coming from town, going south.
The northwest corner is the existing gas station. We'd be the southwest corner.
Well, okay. Okay. Well, that's the northwest corner, right?
No, it depends on which way you're coming from. But it adjoins the property, that they had rezoned for housing. So if you're coming from the Publix at 212 and 138, it will be the first corner on the right that you come to.
Yes.
There's a big sign says Sea Farms
Yes.
on it, right there,
And
that
the-
corner.
And the public notice signs are all there. Sorry. And there's a gas station on one of these other corners.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am, there is.
Everything's pretty derelict looking.
It is, and again, I want to point out that there's nobody more concerned with the quality of what goes on that corner than me and Ben C., as we're going to have a substantial investment in the development of the property behind us. It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for us to devalue our product by putting something in there that's not going to be an asset to the area. We actually, and maybe naively, thought that the neighborhood might see this in the way that we see it, which is a complement to the residential, not something that will detract from it. And I understand that what goes on across the street is not appreciated. I would encourage commissioners to look at code enforcement and code items that might be added to strengthen your ability to keep the existing facilities safe, well-lit, well-maintained, et cetera. We don't want to do what's there already. The place to address a lot of those problems, I feel like, is in a review of the code.
So Director Rutledge, could you remind us why this has come back?
Yes, this was denied earlier this year by the board, I think in February. I'm sorry, I just handed you all my information, but I think I can remember it, and I'm sure Mr. Goodsell will remind me. And it came back from the court, and the court's directive is that this be rezoned to a constitutional rezoning. I think some of the issue that we're dealing with right now is our future land use map and what it calls for. I know this is a difficult decision for this board to make since we find ourselves at this impasse with the gas station, but I think maybe looking ahead, my advice would be that we work on what our future land use map looks like. I'm not sure that there's much we can do about that at this moment. So hopefully that helps a little.
Thank you. And I will say that I've spoken to Ted Meeker,
Okay,
who is
good.
our attorney for zoning, and we'll be meeting the end of next week to work on the zoning map, starting specifically in this area
Okay.
to protect that community.
I think
moving
that sounds
forward.
like a good path forward.
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, and then I think we have Andrea Pearson here today, if you'd like to address the group. Did you bring a copy of your letter that I got this
ma'am, I
morning?
did.
Okay. If you want to read that.
I'm sure. Andrea Pearson from Bloom Parham, and I have a copy of our constitutional notice letter that we provided to the Board of Commissioners this morning. Would you like for me to read through it?
Sure.
Okay. So this is a constitutional notice regarding rezoning case number 2024-28. S.A. Goodsell Development Company, Stephen Goodsell and Benjamin Willis C's application to rezone 10 acres of 1929 Oglesby Bridge Road from AR to C1, the rezoning. So this letter is on behalf of S.A. Goodsell Development Co., Stephen Goodsell, collectively applicant, and Benjamin William C3, the owner, regarding the above referenced rezoning. And this is in an abundance of caution. If you would please include this correspondence in the file for this rezoning. So we believe that denying the rezoning the property to a zoning not requested by the applicant, or imposing unreasonable conditions will violate the owner's property rights without first paying fair, adequate, and just compensation for such rights, in violation of Article 1, Section 1, Paragraph 1 of the Constitution of the State of Georgia, Article 1, Section 3, Paragraph 1 of the Constitution of the State of Georgia, and the Just Compensation Clause of the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. Denying the rezoning to a category not requested by applicant, or imposing unreasonable conditions would also be unconstitutional, illegal, null and void, constituting a taking of owner's property in violation of the Just Compensation Clause of the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to the United States, Article 1, Section 1, Paragraph 1, and Article 1, Section 3, Paragraph 1 of the Constitution of the State of Georgia. Denying the rezoning to a zoning not requested by the applicant, or imposing unreasonable conditions would unconstitutionally discriminate in an arbitrary, capricious, and unreasonable manner between the applicant and owner and other similarly situated entities and property owners, in violation of Article 1, Section 1, Paragraph 2 of the Constitution of the State of Georgia and the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. Denying the rezoning to a zoning not requested by applicant, or imposing unreasonable conditions would also constitute an unreasonable and extreme hardship on the applicant and owner without remotely advancing the public health, safety, and welfare, and would constitute an arbitrary and capricious act without any rational basis therefore, constituting an abuse of discretion in violation of Article 1, Section 1, Paragraph 1 of the Constitution of the State of Georgia, Article 1, Section 3, Paragraph 1 of the Constitution of the State of Georgia, and the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment in the Constitution of the United States. Denying the rezoning to a zoning not requested by applicant, or imposing unreasonable conditions would violate Article 1, Section 1, Paragraph X of the Constitution of the State of Georgia. And would you like a copy for the record?
I have a copy, but
Okay.
thank you. I appreciate it.
I have a
All right.
question.
Yes, ma'am.
What determines if something is unreasonable? What is the definition of unreasonable?
Well, we would say something that is not related to the public health, safety, or welfare is typically the way that it's looked at, being no rational basis for the decision is typically the characterization of it under zoning rules.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No, thank you. All right, and from our Planning and Zoning Department, Director Gardner, if you could address if there is a turn lane that would be required. Can you come to the podium for me, please? Or would you like someone else to come and speak?
Good morning.
Good morning.
So based on the staff report that was done previously with this item, a turn lane based on, the amount of traffic on that corridor would be required.
Okay. And has there been a feasibility study for traffic or done? Or is
I
that
don't think
required?
one has been done.
Okay, Mr. Goodsell says there.
Okay.
Okay. And yes to traffic study or feasibility study?
Traffic study, given, actually, it covered a higher density residential component and a larger commercial component. I think part of the agreement we talked about with staff would be to, if necessary, redo that at the time of development to make sure that the new plan was square with what traffic in Georgia DOT.
Okay. And then can you tell me about, from aesthetics, is there currently a berm with landscaping planned?
Can you come to the microphone? So
Yeah,
everybody
can you
hear,
come to the
please?
microphone? I'm sorry, Mr. Goodsell.
And I guess you're talking about the commercial section as opposed to the
Yes,
entire project?
Correct.
We haven't gotten a landscape plan yet. We're not at that stage. We're really not sure what mix of retailers may come together. We've got ideas and we're working on that. I will say we want to make it attractive from the road, but as you might imagine, we don't want to hide retail from the road either. So good landscaping, berm probably not.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair and Board, are there any of those items that you would like to capture in the conditions? The additional traffic study?
No,
Okay.
I think that's
Okay.
been done according
Yes,
to
it has.
Mr. Goodsell.
Yes.
I think that the Salem Road overlay is an example. The way it
Yes.
was designed was really designed to make sure that there are aesthetics. And due to the character nature of that area, I think that a berm would be great. But I think Mr. Goodsell's heard
Okay.
from the board that we are looking for those aesthetics. So
Absolutely.
yes.
Madam Chair, if
Yes.
I may, in speaking with my colleague in Department of Transportation, he indicated that he has not seen a traffic study for that, being that it is a state mandated highway.
Okay, so I'm sure that Mr. Goodsell can provide that for Mr. Kelly. So we will proceed with the vote on this if there is a motion.
So let's talk about aesthetics for just a minute.
Okay,
Because it's a very rural area, and I understand there'll be a housing development behind it. Personally, I would love to see some nod to the fact that it's been a farm, that, I love the fencing around it. It's a beautiful piece of property. I would like to see something so that there's some feel still of that. This is a farming area, country part of the county, and I don't know exactly what that would look like, but and how to put it down as a condition. But if we want to impose conditions on the aesthetics, we don't want to approve this today, is that right?
What kind of aesthetics, though?
Well, the landscaping.
And I think Mr. Goodsell said the landscape plan would be forthcoming after you've secured your retail, right? So,
So can there be changes made after we approve this and he submits the landscape plan? Can we then say, well, we'd really like to have this or that?
well, you could work with the planning staff during the LDP process, so yes.
Okay.
Right, so this is just the rezoning piece today. So he would have to come in and get his LDP and go through the site plan, and that would mean aesthetics and the landscape plan and
Okay.
that type of thing. So I think the answer would be yes.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
And just to piggyback off of what Director Rutledge has said, once staff receives plans, staff can work with the developer and, discuss the types of landscapes we would like to see.
Okay, thank you.
Very good.
So, I will move to approve the second read and to adopt this ordinance as presented.
Madam Chair, I second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions or comments? Okay. I just want to take a minute to say that this board and staff, we are committed to trying to find solutions to these things in the community. I'm not happy about this, and I'm not happy about the letter that I received from you today at the last minute. But we do, we are laser focused on trying to reduce the tax obligations to the citizens and businesses in our community. And at this point, I personally don't want to waste taxpayer dollars in a situation like that. And I don't ever like to fold to attorneys. So regretfully, I will also support this approval and trust that Mr. Goodsell, who has a longstanding reputation in this community and other areas, and Mr. C, will do the right thing and certainly listen to all the comments and feedback that citizens have overwhelmingly shared with you, and that you'll act in the most ethical way. So, thank you. So I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Motion. Oh, we have a nay. Thank
So
you.
we have one opposed.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, item 332 is a future land use case 2025-02, an ordinance to amend the future land use map of Rockdale County, Georgia's comprehensive plan as amended for property located at 2567 Northeast Gees Mill Road from the Technology Park future land use category to the medium density residential future land use category to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a second reading this morning.
Where are we? I'm sorry. Got my mind right.
And
Madam
actually,
Chair, I move to approve the second reading and to adopt the ordinances as presented.
I second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
and item 333 is the adjoining rezoning case with the same piece of property. So it's rezoning case 2025-01, an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County, Georgia as amended by rezoning 2567 Northeast Gees Mill Road from AR Agricultural Residential to CRS Collaborative Residential Subdivision to impose conditions upon the property to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is also submitted for a second reading this morning.
And can we get the feedback from the Planning and Zoning Commission regarding this
Yes.
piece of property?
Do you want Director Gardner to?
So this is the companion piece of item 332 to rezone this property at G's Mill. Staff worked diligently with the developer in coming up with the design of the subdivision. We ended up working with probably put in about 20 plus lots that will have side entry garages instead of the front-facing garages. So that was one element we worked with the developer on. Another element that we also worked on is putting a centralized park for the community, as well as some green buffer areas that will be between some of the residents' lots. And also, we ended up connecting the Central Park through the neighborhood that would connect to a back area that has trails along the creek in the community. There is a dog park that was also inserted in the community that would be an amenity area for residents that live there that have, pets and dogs. So this was one, one element in one community that we did, of course, work with the developer on to come up with a good plan, with subdivision plan. In the beginning, our concerns as staff was the entrance off of Dees Mill Road, and the developer has gotten or is working to get easements for some areas of along that road. Another concern was the current residents that live in surrounding areas of that particular development. The developer did have a meeting with the community as well, and staff did not receive any, comments back from a negative light. The only thing we did receive was a comment made about the traffic, and talking to our RDOT colleagues, the traffic count on that particular road daily is about 3,000 cars.
Okay. All right, very good.
Thank you.
So
Go ahead.
I move to approve the second read and adopt this ordinance as presented.
Madam Chair, I second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
So item 334 was a rezoning case 2025-05, and this is the official resolution of the Rockdale County Board of Commissioners to accept the withdrawal of rezoning case 2025-05 without prejudice to waive the 12-month prohibition on subsequent amendment applications on the subject site. If you remember, Mr. Herman approached the board at the last zoning public hearing and asked to be formally withdrawn from this process. He has some things to work out.
Okay, very good.
Madam Chair, I move to approve this resolution as presented.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Item 335 is rezoning case 2025-07, an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County, Georgia as amended by rezoning Southwest Iris Drive from C2 General Commercial to RM Residential Multifamily to impose conditions upon the property to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a second reading.
I move to approve the second reading and adopt this ordinance as presented.
Madam Chair, I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay.
You are opposed. Thank you.
I'll just say, I actually went to all these properties last night, and this one, there's a townhome community, then there's this property, and then there's the Rockdale County line. And DeKalb has a very nice townhome community right there on the border. And past that is a storage facility. And I thought, I would rather see a residential area in there than another storage facility or something else inconsistent with what is on either side of it.
So, Madam Chair, before the board votes, it's my understanding Commissioner Smith would
Yes,
like
I
to
have
change her
notes.
vote. So
Yes,
if we
I would.
could ask for a vote again.
Okay.
Ask for the call for the
All
question
right.
again.
So I will call for the question
Yes.
again, if I could get a motion.
So I move to approve the second read and to adopt the ordinance.
I second the motion. Vote.
So you could call and, call for the vote.
All right.
So you don't want to change your
I have a
motion, you want
motion
to
and
change
a
your vote.
I
second.
do.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Nay.
The motion fails. Okay.
All right, item 336 is rezoning case 2025-04, an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County, Georgia as amended by rezoning 1955 Flat Shoals Road from R1 Single Family Residential District to C1 Local Commercial District to impose conditions upon the property to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading.
I thought this came before us already,
It did, they withdrew, and now they're back.
but before they said they were going to go apply for O&I.
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll proceed accordingly then. Do I have any motions?
Yes, I move to approve this first reading and refer this ordinance to the Planning Commission as presented.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second, and I'll just say for the record that we have got to look at step-down zoning. So this abuts residential zoning and is on property that I believe really opens the floodgates to destroying the character of the area, which is residential. Okay, so, all right, all in favor say aye.
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 And nay.
This is to refer it to the Planning Commission, correct?
It is.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Item 337 is a conditional use permit, case 2025-01, an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County, Georgia as amended to authorize a conditional use permit, special use permit for a recreational and vacation campsite to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading.
I move to deny the first reading or the referral to the Planning Commission due to our current moratorium.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 So, Madam Chair and Board, I would just like to remind you that this applicant did appeal to you at the last board meeting, and you allowed them into the process. So I just want to put that on the record, that you're not allowing them to go through the process now.
So I think that the intent of that, I feel like we were a little misled as to how it would fit in the moratorium, not by staff. So would your recommendation be to let it go through the process? Because
based on what was presented to you, I would say yes.
yes.
I'm not sure about the other part though, so.
All right. I will restate my,
Okay.
well, does anybody want to?
I mean, if any, like, if anybody else wants to weigh in, go
So
ahead.
I move to approve the first read and refer
Okay.
the ordinance to the
refer it to the
Planning
Planning.
Commission.
Okay. I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Okay, item 338 is text amendment case 2025-08, an ordinance amending Article 2 of Chapter 328 and Title 3 of Subpart B of the Code of Rockdale County, Georgia, providing updates to the Rockdale County Landscaping and Tree Protection and Replacement Ordinance. This is submitted for a first reading.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the first reading and refer this ordinance to the Planning Commission as presented.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Item 339 is an ordinance to revise Subpart A, Chapter 46 of the Fire Prevention and Protection Code of Rockdale County to eliminate outdated code references and provisions, to align with current state rules and regulations, to provide for a repeal of conflicting provisions, to provide an adoption date, and this is submitted for first reading, although I will say, if it's unanimous, the board may waive the second reading today.
Okay.
I move to approve the first read, waive the second reading, and adopt the ordinance as presented.
Madam Chair, I second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions, or does Chief Robinson have any comments about this?
Thank you for the opportunity. I want to introduce, if you haven't met yet, the fire marshal. This is Nick Lynn, and he was instrumental in getting this put together. So when I first took office, looking back through our fire ordinances, we currently have a fire ordinance in place, but it was extremely outdated. It had some dates and things in there that were needed to be updated, and so Chief Lynn spent a lot of time going through several of the jurisdictions around us and making sure that our fire ordinance is up to current codes, and making sure that we don't have to continue to redo this process. When the state makes a change, we're required to have the change anyway. Instead of us having to come back and do this amendment, then we can just now this new code will actually just take those state changes and move forward. And we can make changes as needed instead of being required to. So I'll let Chief Lynn explain what the fire ordinance is and what and how it's used in our department.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Madam Chairman, Commissioners.
Morning.
So the ordinance in the fire service basically gives the fire marshal office their power. It's guided through the state fire commissioner, and we have to adopt what they set as the state's minimum fire standard. That's due to a population. We're right there at the cusp, 100,000, and we would automatically adopt it, but we're at 97,000. So we have to formally adopt these codes to make sure that the businesses in this county are safe for the citizens of Rockdale County. So.
Okay. Very good. Are there any so how would a citizen know about any new provisions that may apply to them, or are there any codes that are significant enough for us to notify business owners?
No, ma'am. This
Okay.
is basically just adopting the state minimum. There's
Okay,
a few things that will be new as far as like egress and ingress, as far as like making entrance access. A lot of communities have gated access.
Right.
And if you can imagine, they all have different codes.
Oh.
We're incorporating, there's a company called Knox Key. We already have that in the county. A lot of businesses already have it. And that's one single key that's on every fire truck that allows us into these properties, that we don't have to remember all these different codes, that when we pull up, we can automatically. Some business will have to install that, but a lot of them already have it.
Very good. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if I may take just a minute to, we've also put a new process in place for burn permits. And that's spelled out in this code as well. But if some of you may remember, the state of Georgia used to issue burn permits years ago, and they stopped that, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So up to this point, there's not been a burn permit process in place. And Chief Lynn, as you know, we're in a burn ban right now, but October 1st, it'll expire, and we'll allow outdoor burning again. So Chief Lynn's put together a new process, and you can find it on our fire department website as soon as it comes available on October 1st again. And it will allow for you to actually apply for a permit, and this is residential permits. Commercial burn permits will still go through another process, and they have to be inspected and things of that nature. But we'll actually go back to having a burn permit again. And some of these high wind days or high fire danger days, that we won't, you'll know whether or not we're allowing burning those days. So our intent is to allow the homeowner to burn. We want to make sure that they're able to be able to clear their debris. As long as they do it in a safe manner. And I would like to mention they need to be 50 feet away from the structure. They have to have a charged hose line, and they have to stay with the fire at all times. They can't until it's a cold coal bed. But I've said that a few times over the years. But we want to make sure that we let everyone know that there is a permit process in place starting October 1st. And I've also had a couple of questions about if we will allow people to burn inside the burn permit time period. That's actually set by the state of Georgia, and it's not something that we can control. So unfortunately, it's during the summer months, burning is not allowed from May 1st to October 1st. And even if we said it was okay, the state still says it's not. So to put it in perspective, we can't even burn for training on the days or during that period of time on like acquired structures. So I did want to mention that. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
Okay, item 340 is an ordinance to amend Chapter 22, Businesses of the Code of Rockdale County, Georgia, as amended, so as to repeal Article 2, licensing of said chapter and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading. This will be one of several amendments that we're making to the code. As we're going through the rewrite, we found a conflict, and we are removing it. This is a first reading. However, if it's unanimous, the board may waive the second reading.
I move to approve this first reading and waive the second reading and adopt this ordinance as presented.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
Item 341 is with Planning and Development. This is a request for applicant Brad Fox for an exception to the moratorium. The location is 4090 Harrelson Mill Road Northeast, Conyers, Georgia. And I believe Director Gardner is here to present, but I also think the applicant is also here.
That's true.
Okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon again. This is a request to be exempt from the moratorium to apply for a building permit to construct a home on property owned by Mr. Bradley Fox and his wife, Miss Susan Fox. To kind of give you some application history, the applicant, an address was assigned to the applicant on November 25th, 2024 at 4090 Northeast Harrison Mill Road. As of February 26, 25, Mr. Fox communicated with staff that his address was still not showing up in the system with the United States Postal Service, and an email was sent to the USPS representative. On March 4th, 2025, Mr. Fox contacted staff again about having issues, which was a civil nature with his neighbors. And then on March 12th, 2025, there was communication regarding an easement agreement with him and his neighbors. On March 24th, 2025, copies of his recorded deed book was also presented to staff. On May 8th, 2025, Mr. Fox was informed that he needed to have an approved LDP before he could submit for a building permit application. On June 13th, 2025, Environmental Health approved his request from their standpoint. And then on June 17th, 2025, no building permit application has been received from the applicant. And again, this all is around, of course, the moratorium and his ability to build a home on his property.
So this is not a subdivision, this is not a townhome unit.
Just
This
a
is
single-
one
It's just a
house
single-family
on his
home
own
on
property.
property. Correct.
All right, do we have a motion?
I move to approve this request as presented.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Nay.
Congratulations.
I'm sorry, was that it?
Nay,
was
it was nay for me.
Okay,
Thank
you
you.
were
Oh, nay.
opposed.
Oh, okay.
No problem.
I was aye, sorry.
It's a yay from
Right,
her
so
for
two
you,
yays, one
but a
nay.
nay from me.
Okay, got it. Sir, yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So item 342 is with Elvin Giddings through the Superior Court for Certified Peer Specialist for the Stepping Up Initiative at $25 an hour. This is for 1 year with option to renew 2 additional 12-month periods. This is grant funded and is a budgeted item.
Madam Chair, I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the
I have
motion.
a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
Item 343 is with Heather Williams through the Superior Court for Certified Peer Specialist for the Stepping Up Initiative. It is $25 an hour for 1 year with an option to renew 2 additional 12-month periods. This is grant funded and is a budgeted item.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
Madam Chair, I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Item 344 is a requisition through the Water Resources Department for United Maintenance for a 10-ton air conditioning emergency replacement at water treatment plant. The amount is $31,842. This is through the Water Enterprise Fund, is a budgeted item, and is submitted for ratification.
Madam Chair, I move to ratify this requisition as presented.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Item 345 is with Paces Restoration through the Fire Rescue Department for Victim Assistance Program Memorandum of Understanding to provide restoration services to property owners following fire, flood, or other catastrophic events at no cost. This is for 1 year with option to renew 3 additional 1-year periods.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
Madam Chair, I second the motion.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
Item 346 are amendments to the Rockdale County Employee Classification and Pay Plan through the Human Resources Department, and Director Holmes is here to present.
Good morning.
Morning.
So item 2025-346 are proposed amendments to the employee class and pay plan. I am going to go ahead and read through the items that we are prepared to move forward with at this time. The first items that we have listed here are for the finance department. We are proposing to update the title for the buyer position to include compliance specialist with that. That would include responsibilities for the EBO portion of that job description. Also updating the project manager job description to include specific items for finance. So that would be the finance request that we are proposing to move forward with. We're also proposing to move forward with the items for planning and development. The removal of the community education specialist position, those responsibilities would go with our code enforcement officers. We're requesting to reclass an administrative manager position to a senior planner, providing additional services for our citizens. We're requesting to reclass a receptionist clerk to a license and permit analyst, also to provide additional service to our citizens. Creating a senior level license and permit analyst, so requesting for that reclass. We're requesting for our planner to be tiered between a 1, 2, and 3 level, allowing for additional service. Another planner to be reclassed to a planning support specialist. We're also requesting that the planning manager be reclassed to a project manager to allow for zoning analysis, zoning administration, as well as building permitting to allow cross-functional level of service within planning and development. So we're proposing that we move forward with those changes for planning and development. We're also proposing that we move forward with changes for State Court 1 and 2, that we reclass a judicial assistant to a law clerk, and that we also update the job description for the law clerk to change the preferred requirements for a barring position within the law clerk. We're also proposing that we update the job description for a on-call lab assistant for our accountability drug court. It was an on-call lab specialist, so in line with industry standards. We're requesting to add the accountability court intake coordinator position to the org chart. That's a grant-funded position. It's already been approved, but we would like to go ahead and add that to the org chart. We are also requesting that we move forward with the changes to the tax assessor, the tax appraiser 3, making that a senior level position, reclassing that, going from a pay grade 20 to a 21. Also reclassing the tax appraiser 4, reclassing that from a 21 to a 23. That position is the requirement for our chief appraiser right now. That sits with our 2 deputies as well as the chief appraiser, allowing for succession within those positions. We're asking that we move forward with changing the animal control officer positions to animal service officer positions to be in line with the title change for the department. We're also asking that we remove the position of the utility education specialist from our water resources department. That position is currently vacant, but maintaining the programmatic programs that require education for water and stormwater. So those are the things that we're asking that we move forward with. The items that we're asking that we hold at this time for further review include the tax commissioner, the Department of Transportation, and probate. Those are the proposed changes that we are asking for at this time for the class and pay plan.
And Director, can you, for the tax commissioner's position that we talked about, there is one position that I did want to propose the funding for due to this critical need for tax collection from prior years.
We have 2, Madam Chair, the delinquent collections officer, the delinquent tax collector.
Correct.
That is the position that we would like to propose.
Correct.
That we move forward with.
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because we have, according to Commissioner Smart Washington and Deputy Director Tutt, close to $8 million in arrears that needs to be collected, which could significantly contribute to the overall tax situation that we're currently in. So I would be interested in that position. And can you tell me the budget impact?
The budget impact for that, including benefits on an annual basis, would be $52,156.97.
Okay. What is the will of the board?
For that particular one?
Do we want to take them separately?
Well, you can take them separately, or if you agree on the additional tax commissioner position, you could take it collectively.
I'm
Why
good.
don't we do?
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is it, yeah, okay.
Why
What are
don't
we
we
doing?
take it separately?
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
so we'll do what you have here, the amendments to the pay and classification
Okay.
first.
So would you like me to read them by the individual departments?
No, I think that just the amendments first, and then the second vote would be for the
Correct.
additional.
So we just need a motion
Okay.
for the amendments you just
Okay.
talked about.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so I do have a question. You
Yes,
talked
ma'am.
about a code enforcement and an education component of that.
Yes. That is for the removal of the community education specialist position that is currently, well, it's a vacant position right now. But that functionality will remain with our code enforcement officers. So they're still going to have the functionality for that, but the position would be removed. It's a vacant position right now.
Do I have a motion?
I move to approve these amendments as presented.
I second the motion.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
And so now the motion would be for the additional position in the tax commissioner's office. And what was that called again?
That position is the delinquent tax collector position.
Okay.
All right, I make a motion to approve the addition of
The
a
delinquent tax collector.
collection.
Collector.
Yes.
Collector.
Okay, collector.
Yes.
I second that motion.
Okay.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 The motion carries.
Okay.
All right, and at this point, we are going to turn to board comment. Thank you,
Thank you.
Director Hans. All right.
Oh, I have a question. So we're gonna talk about this another time? The other things, is that what?
Yes.
Right, I think HR will bring those back
Okay.
separately. Is that correct?
For many of those, when we
Yes.
looked at them, we were trying to find savings in their budget that could afford those changes because budget requests for next year are going to be starting, the hearings will start in August, and that forecast will be for all of 2026. So we're trying to stick with those plans and not do mid-year adjustments at this point.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Would you like to start board comments?
Sure. So a couple of things. One, I attended the Red, White, and Boom on Thursday night last week. That is such a fun event. I love to go because there's lots and lots of families. And it's from the little kids to the teenagers to the parents, the grandparents. I think it's a great opportunity for us all to get together. And it's also a good collaboration with the city, who does most of the planning. We just kind of contribute funds.
Right.
Right, but it's a really fun, that's a really fun event. The other thing is just the concern for the flash flooding in Texas that has been so devastating, and apparently nothing on this level has occurred in over 100 years. I noticed that one of our state representatives, one of our congressional representatives from our state, had two granddaughters at that camp, and they lost their cousin. And I think it's just, I think it's always a time for a reflection for each of us on, you know, what is it we value in our homes, because we don't know what tomorrow brings, and to do that personal reflection on, are we really doing the things that at the end of our life we're going to hope that we had done. So just special thoughts and prayers to that community. Those are my comments today.
Thank you.
Alrighty, good morning still. I just want to make everyone aware and remind you that Congressman David Scott will be at our libraries. His office will be at our library on Fridays from 10 to 2 for constituent liaison services, if you're interested. If you have any concerns with Medicaid, Medicare, labor, Veterans Affairs, you can definitely go in and speak with that liaison in reference to that. And also, I am partnered with Regional Health Impact Services to do a food drive. And that food drive will be on July 17th from 6 to 8. Right now, everybody is going through a lot, whether you're may not be financially, but your finances are probably your concern to see if you can save and keep whatever you have. And if you don't have it, you're trying to find out how to get some. So this is just a way that I want to just kind of ease the impact and make a big, beautiful glass of lemonade out of the lemons that we've been served. So come out on July 17th at Wheeler Park in the Blue Lot from 6 to 8, and hopefully we can help you and your family out for that week or that day. And also, just to remind everyone that the big three are partnering on July 26th for the back to school. It's going to be one rock. That is for the city, the county, and the school board. We're all doing a back to school activity drive on July 26th from 10 to 2. And that's going to be also at Wheeler Park, at the lawn in Wheeler Park on Parker Road. Come out and get your school supplies. We have a lot of resources for your family. This will be a great opportunity for you to come and to find out what resources are available for you from our nonprofit organizations that we have in our community. Even if you don't have kids, just coming out to find out what those resources are in our community would be very important for you or someone else that you may know. And those are my comments. And I also like to applaud our Parks and Recreation Department for the concert that we had. It did not happen because of the rain. It was just delayed. So a delay sometimes is not always a denial. So it was a great concert. It cooled us off, and it was fun. So thank you, Parks and Recreations, for that.
All right. I think our Deputy Director Wilson and also Deputy Director Morgan have a couple of announcements they want to share.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
We are very excited to let you know about something that's coming up very soon called Art for the Ages. This is the second time that this event has been held. It's going to be on July the 17th from 10 to 2 at the Costly Mill Event Center. And we wanted to tell you a little bit about it and how this all fits together. This is a program that is part of our cultural arts initiatives, and it is also intergenerational. And one of the things that we did this year is, last year we concentrated on you were a youth or you were a senior. And now we're concentrating on all the generations that are in between. So you may have a grandmother, a mother, and a child that is participating. So this is all part of our quality of life, and the idea behind the program is to have an emphasis on arts. So we have visual arts, we have dance, art, and then our famous fashion show, which you have to see to believe. And they have so much fun doing it. They're practicing for it. And we would just really like to invite everyone to participate. We are serving hors d'oeuvres in the morning, and then we will have a lunch available. And it's from 10 to 2 on July the 17th at Costly Mill Event Center. And I want to turn it over to Deputy Director Wilson to talk more about how this fits into the picture.
Okay. And if somebody's interested in participating, how do they participate? Is it too late to sign up?
No, it's never too late.
Okay.
If you are interested in displaying some art, if you would call the Senior Center and ask for me, Susan Morgan, 770-278-7230, and we'll be happy to help you with that. The dance and the fashion show, there might be a little bit of flexibility, but would have to be done this week.
Okay.
Those are kind of locked in at the moment.
And if you'll share your email as well.
My personal, Susan, SUSAN .Morgan, MORGAN, at rockdalecountyga.gov.
There you go.
Also, we would love to have you, even if you don't want to participate in the event, come to the event. Come support the activities. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Deputy Morgan. All right, so July is National Parks and Rec Month.
Yay.
So with that said, we have already went through our promotional period. We started last week, but PR assisted us in culminating a great video highlighting the month. So if PR would show that for us really quick. Rockdale County Parks and Recreation is celebrating Parks and Recreation Month in July with the theme, Build Together, Play Together. This theme is a key focus for the National Recreation and Park Association in 2025. The theme highlights the importance of parks and recreation in building thriving communities by providing access to joy, well-being, and play for all. Here in Rockdale, we love mixing and collaborating as a community. Collaborating in efforts of professionals with volunteers and community members, creating inclusive and accessible spaces. We're building communities, offering inclusive design, collaborating, play, recreation, learning, and innovation. Here in Rockdale, we build together and play together.
Thank you.
Thank you, PR. So with that said, there's several flyers that should go across the screen shortly. I just want to bring your attention, Commissioner Smith, you mentioned our Collaborate in One Rock Back to School Bash on July 26th. And Deputy Morgan mentioned our Art for the Ages on July 17th, but we also have our Rec Day in the Park, which is our annual event and give back to the community, where the community can come in and participate in free complimentary access to Johnson Park Rec Center, to those amenities. So that's the swimming pool, the walking track, the fitness center, and the basketball court. So that is Saturday, July 26th from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., which is the full day. In addition to that, the new Wrecking Crew July calendar is hot off the press. So this month we will be going out to Pine Log Park, South Rockdale Park. We'll also be at the Back to School Bash, as well as Millstead Park in the splash pad. And that's all we have for this month of July. But yes, please participate in everything that you see. We have our summer concert series on July 27th at the Line. That's going to be a great event. It'll be from 5 to 7 p.m. And give me 1 second. Let me go to my cheat sheet.
While you're looking, I wanted to also say how much fun it looked like the pickleball tournament was last weekend.
Yes, yes.
That seemed to be very, very good, and there was a good level of participation. So congratulations to your department for setting that up.
Thank you. Yes,
I was impressed.
Can I ask you a question too?
Sure.
I had this question this week about the pickleball courts. Something was said about moving them, the direction that they face.
Yeah, so we're working with General Services currently to see how we can move that and acclimate that to a different direction from sun up to sundown. I guess the sun casts in a different direction, so ensuring that it's not hitting the faces of the players and causing a distraction.
Right.
So we are working on that in-house.
Do we know?
assessing
Do we
that.
have a timeline yet for that?
No, not as of
Okay.
yet. Yes, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for asking. So back to the concert series. So July 27th, the act is actually Tattoo You. So it's the music of the Rolling Stones. So everybody come on out, bring your lawn chairs, bring your family. It is a $5 parking fee, but it's very fun. It's very open. It's right there at the lawn at Wheeler Park. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. So just in closing, I wanted to say that I am looking forward to the NACO conference, which I'll be leaving on the 10th with several people from Rockdale County from our team. And I'm looking forward to the learning opportunities there and hopefully have some great ideas to bring back to make Rockdale even better. And so other than that, I'd just like to thank the city as well as Chief Scott Freeman and Sheriff Levitt for the coordination of safety at the Red, White, and Boom. I was very, very impressed by the organization, by the thoughtfulness of their level of preparedness for thousands of people to come here to Rockdale County for Red, White, and Boom. And so I had numerous people in the crowd that said, this is such a great event and I feel so safe. And so while there was not only chief of police, not only the police officers, but also there was our SWAT team in place, and so definitely a great level of presence and support and interaction with them in the crowd. So, and the music was great too. So, anyway, thank you to the city for the fireworks, and it was just a great collaboration on all levels. And with that, we'll conclude today's meeting. Thank you for your participation.